Thank you for listening to Pal Block Podcast, the flagship Nintendo podcast of Boss Rush Network. Do you need even more gaming and entertainment in your life? Head over to bossrush.net where you can find news, reviews, creators, podcasts, and more focused around the content you enjoy.
Hello everybody, welcome to Nintendo Pal Block here on Boss Rush Network. I'm your host, Dan Latinx Excited Eddie V. Joining me is the indie insider himself, Mr. Dan Murphy.
Ed, how we doing?
We are doing great, Dan. Fantastic. We got Bossman himself, Mr. Corey Derrick.
Hello, I am back. I'm here. I'm ready to talk about games.
Yes. And our special guest. You guys know him. You love him. He is part of the Boss Rush writing team. It's the hard-hitting hockey player himself, Mr. Jack Brough. Hello, good sir.
Hey, how's it going, Ed? How's Dan and Corey doing?
Great. We don't care how Ed's doing. Dan and I are great.
Oh, yeah.
Well, hello everybody. We have a great show planned for you. We got some great topics for news, a great doc mode, and some deals that you guys want to check out for new releases that is coming out. But before we get into any of that, even what we were doing on the weekend, Corey, we have a contest going. So can you break down the contest?
We do, but first of all, Ed, you forgot the most important thing. It's your birthday.
Oh, yes, everybody. It is my birthday. I have turned 42 years old. And I first want to say thank you, everybody, from the Boss Rush team, all my friends and family on Twitter and Facebook, to the Boss Rush community and other platforms that wish me happy birthday. I really thank you guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Jack, for the gift card from Christmas. I was able to use it and get a game. Thank you, Stephanie, for the gift card. And thank you, Lamont, for the gift. He sent me a frame that has a poster of all the consoles that's been released.
Oh damn,
that's cool.
So it's
cool.
very nice. Yeah, I'll be hanging up, and I told them thank you very much. I literally was almost in tears, crying, because it's so. I'm just thankful and for it, and to even receive a gift or just all the love that you guys send. It really means something for me. I put up a Twitter thing, a tweet on my profile that you guys should read, so you kind of understand why I'm very appreciative of all the love. So thank you guys once again. And I did get to celebrate on my birthday weekend. I did some good shopping, did some good eating, and I will get into that later on for Snacktendo.
Well, Ed, I think it's very understated that you mean a lot to a lot of people. So, I don't think it's very surprising that people were wishing you a happy birthday on your birthday. But
yeah,
we all love you. So.
Thank you guys. Thank you very much. So Corey,
yeah,
content.
Okay, yeah, we have a contest going on, guys. We're giving away a digital copy of Nintendo Switch Sports. We're giving it out on the Monday before the game releases, which I believe is April 25th.
29th?
The game
29th.
The game releases on the 29th, but we're giving it away on that live show on Monday.
Nice.
So would be the 25th, I think. So the Monday before the 29th, we are going to announce the winner. All you have to do is go to @PalBlock Podcast, which is the Nintendo Pal Block Podcast Twitter feed. Check the pinned tweet. You must be following Pal Block Podcast, but then you just have to like and retweet the tweet, and you will automatically be entered. Making it nice and simple. Hopefully we will enjoy a few more Elite Block agents moving forward. I appreciate everybody who's already done so. There's already like 4 times as many entries as there were on the last contest.
This one.
So
yes,
because it was easier probably. So, but yeah, all you have to do, like, and retweet the pinned tweet on Power Block Podcast, and also be following Power Block Podcast.
Yes.
Good luck, everybody.
Yeah,
Yes.
That's going to be a great game.
I know. I'm so excited.
Yeah,
I,
likewise.
I'm so pumped for that.
I think depending on how that Friday goes, I'm probably gonna be reaching out to you guys to be like, come on, let's get some bowling in, let's get some volleyball,
Yeah.
like make a community night.
That sounds like a good community night. Is that night that that game comes out?
I'm absolutely thrilled too.
I know that's actually my birthday is May 1st, so I'm going away that
Perfect.
weekend, and I'm just like, damn it, I want to play such sports.
Ah.
It's not a really good game to travel with either, you know?
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah. You want to get that full motion roll or tennis slap. You want to get it in
Or
there.
Shimbara.
Yeah.
Come on, that's the big one.
Yeah, Shambara. I don't even know what that is, but it sounds fun. Is that
Sword
the?
fighting.
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't that like gladiators kind of thing? But whatever, it's fine.
Ah. Well, everybody, we're gonna get into what we've been doing over the weekend. Jack, it's been so long since you've been on the show. What have you been up to? How was your weekend?
Yeah, my weekend was good. I went and saw Sonic 2. I took my 5-year-old son to go and see it. He enjoyed it a lot, which is a good thing. It was a good movie. You know, it's definitely worth seeing. Other than that, not too much, just a lot of work, you know, and getting games in as often as I can. So, but definitely thrilled to be back here. Glad that I had the opportunity to make things work tonight.
Yay! So happy. Dan, how was your weekend?
It was pretty good. I went on a work trip last week, and it was kind of exhausting. And I came back, and Ariel and I went on a date on Friday. And
Oh.
during date night, I had one too many drinks and spent all day Saturday in bed just hungover. And I don't drink that much, and when I do, it's like the worst next day ever. So that was my weekend.
Well, Corey, how was your weekend?
It was okay. We what did we do? Oh, we went to the library with my kids because there was like a kids activity thing. Like there was a bubble lady, and there was a guy who played music for kids, and a craft station, and we got free books. So we did that on Saturday, and then we went out to, which I'll talk a little bit on Snacktendo, but we went as a family for the first time since the pandemic. We went out to dinner as a family. And
God.
in the middle of it, we realized that my kids don't know how that works. Because like the last time we went out to eat with my daughter before my son was born, my son's never been to a restaurant. And my daughter, the last time we went out to eat as a family, the four of us, she was 1.5, I think, and we went to a hibachi style grill in December of 2019. And then they went a couple months later to dinner, but like my daughter was 1.5 and now she's almost 4. And between then we never went out to eat because, you know, COVID and kids can't be vaccinated yet and whatever. Like it was wild. Let me tell you. It was fun though.
It was an experience, I should say.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, for me, everybody, I celebrated my birthday weekend. I went to go see Sonic 2. Really enjoyed that. I got to get some exercise. I did some walking. I did some shopping. Also got me some great Adidas outfits and hoodies. Got some good snacks. Ate a lot of sushi and some lo mein.
What kind of sushi rolls did you get?
I got Hawaiian sushi, and I got salmon, a spicy salmon roll that I got. But then
wait, hold on. Before you move on, I need to know, what is Hawaiian sushi? What is that?
Don't say it's pineapple.
Is it pineapple and ham? And is this like a pizza rolled up in some rice? Like, what is this?
No, it's still salmon and tuna. But they have some kind of like sesame seeds. They have mayo and the spicy sauce with it. And then they have some pineapple pieces into it, rolled in. But it is like, it's not too spicy. It's like really sweet and everything. So, and the mayo just gives it that good, nice taste. Sometimes they'll throw on some like crispy bits on it, so you get a nice crunch when you eat it. But this one didn't have the crispy bits to it, so it just was this nice fat good roll with all the toppings and everything. And I was just like, no, because they have the salmon in it with the tuna rolled up to it, but then they also got salmon and tuna pieces like cut up and thrown around. So it was really, really good. But I did also buy a lot of games for myself. I told Jack with his gift card, I got Yakuza Like a Dragon for Series X for $20. I got with the gift card that Stephanie got me, I got Disco Elysium, and then there's some other stuff that I was able to get. I got Bloodstain and Yakuza Kiwami 2 for like $20 together. And then today, Best Buy had a sale for Final Fantasy 12 for Switch physically for $14.99.
Oh wow!
For $14.99?
Yeah.
Oh damn.
So
I tried, and our Best Buy was out because that was a good deal.
Yeah, I ordered it this morning, like at 1:34 in the morning. The thing is, it's not coming to my store until till Thursday, so I can't get it. And then there's a steelbook that for my Yakuza that I'm supposed to be getting coming in the mail also. So I got the game, but they're gonna send me a special steelbook with it. So
Nice.
I'm excited. Yeah.
Very nice.
What a haul.
So. Yeah, I was thinking of going up to go see Jesse, but it was too late to make plans. And I'm saving my time because I was gonna go to Galloping Ghost and do some arcade gaming, but I'm gonna wait for that. I'm gonna go another day so I could spend 2 hours playing games. So. But yeah, everybody, that is what I have been doing on my weekend. Well, that was my weekend, and that Sunday was my birthday. So I sang at my friend's church, and then, like I said, going to go see Sonic.
Did you like the Sonic 2 better than Sonic 1?
You know what? I think Sonic 1 was better than Sonic 2.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
It's not bad. It was just like, okay, they got all the right beats, but it just made me, and this is gonna sound weird, it just made me want another Pokemon Detective Pikachu movie again, because it was so fun. The CG was awesome. CG was like really top notch. They did a great job for it. And then before we get to our shout outs to our Patreon producers, I was when they did the Sega by showing all the games, the logos. Yeah. I forgot that Sammy had brought Sega, or they merged or something, because it said a Sega Sammy Corporation, and I'm like, I forgot all about that happening.
Well, yeah, Sega.
Yeah.
No more Sega Sammy Arcade. That's sad, though, right? I mean, Sega did so many cool arcade things.
Yeah, that was their big business. When their consoles wasn't doing anything, their arcade business was keeping them alive, keeping them afloat. Yeah. That's why it's so weird that with all the financial troubles that Sega has had, how in the heck did they buy Atlas?
I mean, but the thing is like I don't think they were in trouble. I just think their arcade business wasn't financially stable, right? They just weren't making any money. Arcade games cost so much to make.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think when they went third party, I know this sounds like a special pass discussion. When they kind of went third party, because they started making a lot of money off of Nintendo with Sonic and all of this stuff. That's why I just found it so weird when they announced it that I'm like, how did y'all have enough money to buy Atlas? That is the crazy thing. Now they're like one of, they're financially in a good spot, but it was just so odd when that announcement happened. I thought Nintendo or somebody would buy Sega or Microsoft would buy Sega. Nope.
I mean,
Sega buying Atlas. I'm like, wow.
I mean, I always thought that Microsoft buying Sega would have made the most sense, but also like Japanese culture is like so against Western companies buying them, you know, to the point where like I don't think it would ever happen unless they just changed the way that their honor system worked, right? Like, I don't know. It's just that would never. It's more feasible that if anybody would buy Sega, it would probably be out of the big three would be Nintendo, but
yeah.
Just because, like, I feel like Sega and Nintendo have always been closely linked, regardless of their, frenemy type state in the 90s to, them moving on to GameCube and Xbox in the 2000s, right? And their working relationship with Xbox is great, but like I said, they've never had that relationship with Sony, right? I mean, their games are on Sony platforms. It's not like, I mean, I guess Yakuza is the big one there, right? But, well, dang it. Now I'm kind of second guessing myself because all the Atlas stuff is like always on Sony platforms. Nah, I don't know. Never mind. Everybody just ignore what I just said.
Any thoughts, Dan or Jack?
No.
Okay. We're going to get into our shout outs to our Patreons. Corey, you want to shout out the people?
Yeah, I'm going to shout out our $5 patrons for our producer tier. Remember, if you go to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork and you want your name shouted out across our many shows here, you can support us at the $5 level. If not, you can get 4 of our shows early for just $1 at patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. But here is who subscribes at the producer tier. We have, for the month of March, Adrielle Munger, Rebecca Jewell, and my wife, Sana Deer. She doesn't know that, but I signed her up. It's fine.
All right.
She's a proud subscriber. She's a proud subscriber.
Well, everybody, it's one of your favorite segments of the show, Snacktendo. Corey, what have you been snacking on?
Oh, let me tell you, not much. I've recently taken on I'm afraid to use the word diet, so we're going to say healthy eating lifestyle. And so Saturdays are my day that I can say I can eat this if I want. So we went to, like I said earlier, we went to the Chinese buffet and just ate coconut shrimp, had some teriyaki chicken, had some General Tso's, had just a bunch of just different types of Chinese meats and, whatever else is on there. It was very, very, very good. And then last night we had sushi for dinner and had a good spicy shrimp roll, which is very good, and crunchy California, which is also very good. So that's what I have been snacking on. Nothing too exciting, but it was exciting for me after like 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, Dan, how was what have you been snacking on? I was about to say, how was your snack?
I'm not. I guess I'll use Corey's words and say healthy lifestyle of eating. I'm getting wedding ready, so I've been like just kind of really eating healthy and don't have anything snack wise to go for. But
have you been putting in the gym work? I should say.
Oh yeah. I'm doing like a workout program where I'm at the gym like at least an hour a day, 5 days a week.
Nice.
On top of like, just kind of, I still go out and walk the dog and do things after anyway. So, but it's like really the big thing for me. Like I've always like exercised and worked out, but eating has just been the big thing for me. Like I'm such a binge eater. Like I could take down 2 whole pizzas if I don't stop myself. So it's like I consciously have to like make sure I'm not eating a lot all the time.
Spoilers, food is good.
Yeah, it's great. It's like it's so stupid how like the world works. Like food tastes so good and it makes you out of shape and give yourself heart problems. Like it shouldn't go that way, right? Like
right.
Food should just not do that bad stuff for you.
Yeah. I like your thinking, Dan.
Yeah. Well, we got to rewrite history for that one. Anyway, Jack, what about you?
Well, at the movies, had to get some popcorn. And also my go-to snack at the movies is peanut M&Ms. Nothing outrageous or anything, but also did have a new potato chip flavor, Kettle Brand Bourbon Barbecue. They were not as good as I was hoping. They're good. It just I was expecting more. And then yesterday I discovered that my son, who's 5, forgot that he had an ice cream treat from about 2 weeks ago, and I grabbed it and I hid it in the basement and I ate it while he was upstairs.
Wow.
So
that's amazing.
Hey, 2 weeks, man. 2 weeks.
I will get off the pot, kid.
Yeah, exactly. But also I will say what inspired me to, I guess, pull the plug on that was the ice cream man came to our neighborhood yesterday. So my son was eating some ice cream while it gave me the idea. But I was still like, nope, I'm snagging this and hiding from a 5-year-old. And it was good. It was good. It was like cookies and cream with chocolate chips, and it was really good.
Nice. So
how about you, Ed?
So Dad turned into a 5-year-old himself.
oh yeah, no, exactly.
Well, Friday, Saturday morning, Dan got on me about this, but Friday night I had a Pizza Hut dinner box, and I had sausage, and then 5 breadsticks, and then 5 other cinnamon sticks. So, and then I got a 4-pack. 20-ounce sodas, which was a really good deal. So I ended up paying like about $20 altogether. So not a bad deal. So ate the whole pizza. It was so good. I love Pizza Hut. I'm not gonna lie. I grew up with it.
Out of all the garbage Pizza Hut is your go-to? Oh.
I don't normally get pizza. I normally have to order Domino's because they're the only ones that really.
That's the correct choice of garbage pizza.
But I have had Domino's like for the past months.
That's all you need.
Yeah, but here's the thing, Ed. When you get away from Domino's, you need to do a step up. You don't do a step down.
Yeah.
Now, you live in Chicago.
Oh, yeah,
you
also
have
true.
Luminalty. Like, you have all these places that are really good, and you went a step down.
So with Illuminati's, I have to travel a whole half hour out my city to go get it.
Oh, no. Half hour.
That's a tragedy.
But Pizza Hut is only 3 minutes from me of a drive, and I only order it on the weekends.
You should have just walked to the convenience store and bought it out of that nasty heat drawer that's been sitting there for 3 days.
We don't have a convenience store that does that.
Oh,
I'd rather eat pizza from a bowling alley than Pizza Hut.
I can't believe I'm getting
bowling alley pizza's good.
Okay.
Not all right. Well, then the bowling alley near me has awful bowling.
So
they probably have Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
So I don't get support for having pineapple on my pizza.
Nope.
I don't get support for having Pizza Hut, which I paid for it. I'm paying for everything with this. Look, I
That's
enjoy
why we're
Pizza
not
Hut.
supporting you, because you're choosing
Ed.
you're spending your money on the pineapple pizza, and then you're spending your money on the Pizza Hut. So we cannot support you.
It was only $10.
Happy
You get
birthday,
what you pay for.
Ed.
I
You
know,
could get
but
two
just
medium.
goodness.
You can get two medium, 2-topping pizzas at Domino's for almost $10.
But I still have to drive and go pick it up.
Why?
Domino's doesn't deliver.
I have. They charge now. It's more for Domino's.
It's not
I
that
hate
much.
doing
It's
delivery,
$2.50.
But it's the $6.99 deal now. The $5.99 is only for carryout. The $6.99 is for delivery.
Oh no, another $1.
Hey, I'm just saying, I have had Domino's a whole bunch, and I wanted something different, so I went to go get some Pizza Hut.
My
I
problem.
only get it on the weekends.
My problem with all jokes aside, my problem with Pizza Hut pizza is that it is too, like, the dough is too thick and it's too greasy. I like Domino's because the crust is dry and it enhances the toppings on your pizza. So that's why I prefer Domino's over Pizza Hut. Now, Papa John's is a different story, because they are monsters, not just because Papa John is a racist, but because they put the toppings under the cheese, which is just who does that? Who does that?
I literally have to be under the table drunk to eat a lot of Papa John's.
I have to. There's not enough alcohol in the world to get me to eat Papa John's.
Yeah. Now, I will say, I enjoy Papa John's when someone else pays for it, but it's not coming out from my pocket.
I mean, free pizza is free pizza.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you never turn that down.
I'll turn down Papa John's for free.
So, but I also have some new Ben & Jerry's. It's called Mint Chocolate Chance, and it has Chance the rapper's face on it. And what it is it's mint flavor ice cream, which was kind of like a vanilla mint flavor, and it had fudge pieces in it, fudge brownie pieces in it, and it was really, really good. There's something about Ben & Jerry's fudge brownies. They're like so thick, and when you like you can't like just chew them. You gotta kind of let them melt in your mouth and everything, because they take a while like to get through. But it was really good. And then I went to Pepperidge Farms when I went shopping, and I got some Chesapeake dark chocolate pecan, some Santa Cruz oatmeal raisin soft bake, double chocolate Nantucket dark chocolate, and last but not least, Captivia dark chocolate. So it's like a chocolate cookie with dark chocolate pieces in it, and then they're big chunks. That's all they literally have. Like, they only have probably 1 or 2 cookies that was milk chocolate. Normally they have a good variety, but not this time. Their whole wall was just filled with dark chocolate, and there was a white chocolate one, but it had macadamia nuts in it, and I'm not too keen of that one. But yeah, and I got a nice little bag with it, so I was good to go. I ate really good. Unfortunately, I didn't get nothing at the movie theaters. I literally got in because the whole food court was like packed. Like, the concession stand was packed. So I just
stuff your pockets, man. Bring candy in.
I would have, but I was just like, you know what? I just got done eating Subway, so I think I was good for a while. So yeah, I went to the movies and enjoyed Sonic 2, but didn't have no snacks with it and everything. But yeah, and German chocolate cake is what I had with some
the best kind of cake ever.
Yes, with some Belgian chocolate ice cream from the gelato kind. So that's what I've been snacking on. So everybody, that was our snack Tendo. And now we're going to get into our next segment, Question Block. Corey, what do we got for our question block?
All right, so we reached out for questions today, and we got two very, very interesting questions. Now, our first one was from our very own Celeste Roberts. She says, pick a game from each older generation console that you would like to see remade. I would go up to the Wii U. Okay, so I guess we could just kind of go round robin and go NES all the way up to Wii U. We're not doing handhelds, by the way. It's just consoles. Just consoles. Okay. NES. My choice would be, I would really like to see a remake of Zelda 2. But make it approachable and, fun.
Yes.
Not a hot, steamy pile of garbage.
Fix the translation, pretty much.
No, I want I Am Error in there, okay? I Am Error stays, but the gameplay must go. Jack, we're going your way next.
Oh, Jack.
All right, me. I would say, how about Kid Icarus? I think that's kind of in the same realm. I know it's had the 3D treatment done on the 3DS, but I think that's a game that deserves a little bit more attention. It's a fun game, but is often overlooked.
I agree with you 100%. Dan.
I'm between two games. I would say one of them being Excite Bike, which I absolutely loved.
Good choice.
Or, this is just one of my favorite games of all time, and it doesn't really need a remake, but I would like to see it with a new coat of paint. So Mega Man 2.
Oh, yeah. Good choice.
Actually, I think they did a virtual console Excite Bike. Didn't they do a remake on it?
Did they?
For WiiWare? I think they did.
They did I think they did the 3DS kind of 3D thing with it, but I don't think they did
like a full remake.
Full remake. Okay. I'm just like, man, I know they did something for WiiWare. Okay.
Ed, what obscure Japanese title that none of us have ever heard of do you want remade?
So I will actually have to remake the Goonies 2 from Konami.
Oh, gross.
That's a good choice. No, that's a great choice. This game's good.
Because as good as that game is, as good as that game is, it was a mess. Because nobody know, like, you didn't know where to go or what to do, and it was kind of and this is the problem to call it a Metroidvania. They kind of had that style to it. Because really Summer's Quest would have been the first game. It was just so weird for a game to be a sequel to a movie that never came out.
Well, no, the game is the sequel to the movie.
Right, but it was the movie. They made the game. It was they thought there was going to be a sequel to the success of the Goonies. So Konami made Goonies 2, thinking that there was going to be a part 2. They never did.
I always thought the game was the sequel.
Yeah.
Not that there was supposed to be another movie.
Yeah, because like in the game, like I don't even think you see all the other characters from the game.
Yeah, you gotta save them.
Yeah, oh goodness, talking about saving that terrible Friday the 13th game for NES. Oh, good googly moogly.
Technically, they did remake that, or they made a version of it for. Anyways, all right, Super Nintendo, everybody. I think, man, this is a tough one for me. I think that I'm going to stick with my Zelda theme here. I think we need A Link to the Past in some sort of similar art style to A Link Between Worlds mixed with Link's Awakening would be great. That's what I want.
I think that this is probably going to be the hardest one because I think the art style for the Super Nintendo just held up so well and the controller's near perfect. But to have like an HD version, I would say maybe like Mega Man X. They did do a remake of that on the PSP. I'll piggyback off of Corey and go with Zelda then.
Yeah, I was kind of just gonna say what you said, Jack, where it's like the Super Nintendo games really, really hold up so well. Like some of my favorites are Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasies, and I wouldn't touch those originals. My pick is gonna be NBA Jam. That game was so much fun, and I would like to see that like on PlayStation or Switch or something. I think that'd be fun.
Remember the one that they made for Xbox 360 and PS3 and Wii? That like
No.
weird, yeah, it was like it was like a really weird version of it, and then they made the physical version came out with extra features called the On Fire edition, and it was wild. It was something.
Was it fun?
It was okay. Like it had a nice flair of nostalgia to it. The shoes lit up when you were like, you know, in turbo mode. They got the original announcer back. Like it was fun. But I mean, it wasn't.
Why are their heads so big?
That was the thing. I don't know. But it was interesting.
Right.
Yeah. For me, it's going to be Secret of Evermore. This was Squaresoft Western Division one and only RPG that they did because of the success of Secret of Mana. And I think a lot of people who know about it loved it. But I think that game could get like not so much an HD 2D kind of remake, but something for like Tokyo RPG with their style, like going in and like cleaning it up and add it. It was kind of like you were a boy and a dog who love old classic movies, and you go to this movie theater and we kind of like get into it. Like the movie kind of sucks you in, and you go to these different time periods, and you stay the same, but your dog changed different time periods. So in the future, he was a robot dog, and it was just such a cool kind of game. And I think a lot of people missed out on it. Who owned the Super Nintendo. It was a really great game, but it was their only one game before they closed down. Before Squaresoft closed them down. So Secret of Evermore would be my game.
Nice. All right. Nintendo 64. This is a tough one, I think, for me at least. I have so many fond memories of so many Nintendo 64 games that I feel like the go-to at this crowd is going to be Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask. And that I feel like, man, they kind of just did that on 3DS, but like, man, I think for me, the title I want to see the most, honestly, is Diddy Kong Racing.
That was going to be my pick.
Yeah, was it?
Yeah, it's just a console that like every game needs a facelift.
Yeah.
But if I were to bring back one series, I would like to bring back Diddy Kong Racing.
Yeah. They did you play like the DS? Did it come out on DS or 3DS? I think it came out on the DS. They did like this kind of remake, but they took half the characters out because Rare owns half of them, and they were owned by Xbox at that point. So they filled it in with
funny.
like, I don't know, garbage character A and Trash Man and that crocodile that you jumped on 6,000 times in Donkey Kong. So, Jack, what about you?
I would do Mario 64. I mean, the game's great, but it definitely needs a fresh coat of paint. If it was actually built from the ground up and totally redone and actually had a fully functioning camera, it would be incredible.
Yeah, that level in Mario Odyssey really made me think about that a lot when I was playing that game. Because, Mario 64,
that was definitely awesome.
Mario 64, I think, means a lot to a lot of people. Especially me at the time. Like, that's always the game, even though I'm not a 3D Mario fan per se, like that's the game that I point to and be like, this is when I started paying attention to games like for real, subscribing to all the magazines, trying to pre-order stuff at GameStop, all that kind of crap. I guess it was Funko Land at the time, but anyways. Dan, do you have another pick, or are you
If I were to pick a second one, I'd say Conquer.
Oh yeah, Conquer.
Yeah, the game's pretty disgusting. It'd be pretty funny to see in HD. What about you, Ed?
Quest 64.
Oh, that's
Quest
a good one, too.
64. Man.
Yes, because as bad as that game is, it really need. I think if they went in and just redid the whole game, fixed the level design, the gameplay, like really do it like a reboot in a kind of way, I think it would probably be a fun game. I know it just didn't do well with it, because my other pick would have been Bomberman 64. Awesome.
Oh, love that
Another
game.
good one.
Could not. I that was my first N64 third party game outside of Mario 64. And as much as I loved it, there was just a lot of parts that I could not get through. I struggled through that game because you had to jump on the bombs to get up since there was no jump button. And I'm like, this is stupid. And then, like, if you lost all your men, you had to start everything way from the back at the beginning. And I'm just like, oh my goodness. So yeah, pretty much. But Quest 64, I think if it got like kind of remade, I think people would enjoy it. Like, give it a fair chance. It may still be questionable content, but who knows? Man, Castlevania 64 and Turok, I would want to also.
That's. I'm moving on now. All right, GameCube. So I guess the one game I would have said already got remade for the Wii U, which would have been Wind Waker. Twilight Princess got an HD port. Oh gosh, there are so many games. I guess I would really. So this is kind of like a 1A 1B for me, but like I always thought that they should somehow remaster / give quality of life improvements to Fire Emblem on the GameCube and the Wii and package them together, because they're technically, sequels to each other, or, they're part of the same kind of storyline. I feel like that would be the way to go. So Radiant Dawn and Path of Radiance, I guess, whatever, 1A, 1B would be mine. Because that game is so good, and I told Ed the devastating story of where I think half of my GameCube games went, because I'm missing everything from A to L. But anyways, Jack.
Yeah, I would go with Metroid Prime.
Yes.
Yeah, it's my favorite game on the GameCube. It's fantastic. Yeah, and actually, it still looks good now on the GameCube, but if they actually poured some time and effort into it now, it would be incredible looking. So hopefully these rumors finally come true one way or another.
Now let me ask you this, Jack. Would you prefer the trilogy just get an HD remaster facelift, or would you rather a ground up remake of the first game and the first game only?
It would depend on what would be done to the first game. Because I think it's pretty damn near perfect. I think the controls could be reworked. If that was what was worked into it, then I would say that would be worth the effort, in and of itself. And it would be more than enough to grab people's attention for when it comes out in 2037.
On the Switch Pro Lite Mega Super Max.
Yeah, with Knuckles.
I can't wait till we get to a certain topic in family news, because I have thoughts.
Dan, what about you?
I'm having a tough one with this because I have a few. So, Mario Kart Double Dash, I just love the mechanics of that. Bring it back. Simpsons Hit and Run, or Beautiful Joe.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
There's a petition out there for Simpsons Hit and Run that has like something like 10,000 signatures on it that people want it brought forward just as like an HD remaster.
I saw that.
I guess I didn't know that the game was that popular.
Yeah, apparently it was. I thought I was one of the only that played it, but apparently not.
It was the Grand Theft Auto for parents that, paid attention to the ratings on games.
It's fair. What about you, Ed?
Well, I'm sorry. I had to do 2 games, and they're both from Sega. The first one is Skies of Arcadia.
Ooh.
Like, there's no way that game should not be remade and on the Switch. Like, it needs to happen. Love Skies of Arcadia.
Give me Skies of Arcadia, please, Sega. What are you doing?
Yes. The second one is Odama, and this is the pinball strategy tactics game that I think would get a better chance on Switch. They can still bring out the peripheral with it, but to have a strategy game mixed in with pinball, it's confusing as a gameplay, but it's a quirky idea enough that I think will work on Switch. I think more people are willing to try anything and everything on Switch. And so that game seems to be like right up its alley for weird and wackiness in Japanese. So Odama and Skies of Arcadia.
Skies of Arcadia is a good one. That is a solid pick, Ed. All right. I guess I already kind of chose my Wii game. Radiant Dawn would be your Path of Radiance. I always get the titles confused, but Fire Emblem for Wii, I think, would be mine. Just because I already got Twilight Princess on Wii U, which is good enough for me. And yeah, so Jack, we're moving to you.
All right. Well, we were kind of talking about it before the show, but the new Super Mario Brothers Wii, just give that the HD visuals. I think that would be the best answer.
Yeah. It wouldn't be hard. It uses the same engine that New Super Mario Brothers U uses, so just saying. Dan, what about you?
I'll go with The Last Story. It was JRPG that
Corey just got happy because me and Corey was lit. Was it last week? No, it was 2 weeks ago.
It was like 2 weeks ago on an expansion pass. I think we talked a lot about it.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite games on the Wii, and I love their previous game too, Lost Odyssey on the Xbox 360.
Yeah, and The Last Story is so good, but it could have used like a few quality of life changes the same way Xenoblade Chronicles had. So that would be a great game to remaster.
Oh my gosh, I love you so much for picking that game right now.
So for me, it's going to be Red Steel 2. I really love that game, and I love the visuals to it. And I think because of the first game hurting it, I think a lot of people didn't give that game a fair shot. And I think Red Steel 2 would work on Switch, definitely with the Joy-Cons and everything. I think there's more accuracy and stuff with it. And honorable mention, Metroid Other M. Like, I want to see the graphics kind of a little bit improved, and I just love the action. I love that game. I know a lot of people don't like Metroid Other M, but fix some story parts if they could. Yeah. Man, that game was literally a perfect 10 to me.
I don't think that game's as bad as a lot of people say it was. I think people just wanted more Metroid Prime, and we didn't get it, and people were mad. So,
voice acting was pretty awful.
Okay, voice acting in all games in 2011 was not.
That's a fair point.
Great.
And I think they just didn't have a voice of how would Samus speak. I think everybody picture how she was sounding it, and I had nothing against the voice actress. She was only doing what they wanted out from her for her performance. So you can't blame her. That's the decisions that they made at Nintendo for that. Yeah. Whoever did the voice recording.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's fine. I respect that decision. All right, Wii U guys. There's only like 5 games that we could choose from right now. So, I mean, at this point, I would take ports of Wind Waker and Twilight Princess and Xenoblade at this point, but I really don't know what I would choose from Wii U. Like, those are the 3 games that are left that I think should be on the console. You know, Xenoblade Chronicles X is arguably the best Xenoblade game, and nobody gets to play it because it was stuck on the Wii U, and nobody cared about Xenoblade on the Wii U. So I mean, yeah, So, Jack, you're next.
Nintendo Land. If they found a way to make that work, because I never got to fully play it the way that it's meant to be played. By the time that came out, I was married and out of college, and couldn't round up 4 other people to play with that plastic hunk of a screen. But if they found a way to make that work, that would be great.
Dan?
Xenoblade Chronicles X, because I've never played it.
Oh, it's so good. Don't worry.
That's right.
The game changes about every 30 hours. So
It does.
it's funny because the game plays for the first 30 hours. It plays about like a Xenoblade game you would expect, right? Just combat or whatever. Then you get a mech, and then about 60 hours in, your mech starts to fly, and then about 90 hours in, you get to fight sky dragons. So in your mech. So, what a game! But that was a good question. Good job, everybody. Oh, Ed, I guess you have to go. Ed, there's only like 4 choices. Come on.
Well, I was, goodness. I was thinking of Mass Effect 3, Legendary Edition, the Mass Effect 3 that came out on Wii U. And I was thinking of Injustice also with it. But I'm actually going to say Zombie U.
No, they did that. They did that to the consoles with no tablet.
I know that, but to see it on Switch, to see Ubisoft do it, I would be surprised on how it would play without the tablet on Switch. Because I would have said no, because Assassin's Creed 3 is on Switch.
There's a lot of Assassin's Creed on Switch right now.
Yeah, and Black Flag is on it.
Shout out to Batman, by the way. The Arkham games, City and Origins are on Wii U, and I really am actually shocked that those games didn't make their way over yet. But
yeah, I did stay, and when we was discussing Star Fox Zero, on it, but that was like I said, on a special pass.
All right, we have one more question. We'll kind of fly through this. I know we've been kind of going long already, but that's okay. We like to go long here on Nintendo Power Block. This is from Josh Martinez on Twitter. He says, we've seen Nintendo get bold at times and change up the genre of an established IP for a one-off game/limited series, i.e. Super Mario RPG. Do you like this practice, and which IP would you like to see in a genre outside of the norm? You know what? Dan, we're going to go your way first.
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Yeah, so he says Nintendo gets bold at times and changes up the genre of an established IP for a one-off game or limited series. Do you like this practice? And which IP would you like to see in a genre outside of its norm?
That is a good question. I like that one. I mean, you kind of see that in like Warriors games, with like Age of Calamity and now the Fire Emblem one. I think it'd be cool to see a Xenoblade Warriors style game. But I would like to see, I would kind of like to see like Zelda in kind of a strategy RPG, the same way like Mario did Mario Rabbids or something like that. I think that'd be really cool because they have so many unique characters in the Zelda franchise that they could actually like make something really, really cool the same way they did Mario Rabbids.
Yeah, that's a good answer. Jack, what about you?
I would say, sorry, I'm looking behind me for some inspiration here because Dan kind of stole my idea. I would say more like a stealth game, but I'm trying to think what Nintendo IP would work well with that. Sneaking around.
Luigi.
Yeah, but he's already got his ghost hunting stuff. But more like maybe like Star Fox Adventure style, but like it's a stealth action game. Kind of like around like Tenchu or those types of games. But in the Star Fox universe, get Star Fox out of the R-Wing again and, sneak around on stealth missions.
Cool. Ed, are you back? Or are you still on a phone call? He's still...
Looks like he's still on mute.
Yep. Okay. So I'll go next. So I've thought about a couple different things. I really like the strategy RPG aspect of... I think Zelda or Xenoblade would fit in that strategy RPG aspect. I would also, I know I'm not like the biggest Souls guy, but I think a Zelda universe-based Souls game would be really interesting. Where, maybe you're not Link, maybe it follows the hero perished timeline from Ocarina of Time, and you are just a random warrior trying to survive in this universe that has been overtaken by Ganon or something, and you go and fight all of the iconic bosses that you see in Zelda from time to time. I think that would be really cool. Or maybe you're Zelda and you take Zelda on this adventure and you kind of build Zelda out in this Souls-like RPG. That's my choice, I think.
I think that's a good idea. It kind of worked for Final Fantasy with Origins.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that canceled retro Sheik game.
Yeah. Well, I know for me, I do love these side games and like off-brand games. It kind of gives that series and that universe different genres that they could test and learn from. And truly be able to work with other parties, like going to Koei Tecmo to do the Mitsu games, going to Bandai Namco to do these kind of racing or arcade games, and also with Capcom with like Luigi's Mansion and stuff. So I kind of do like that offbeat stuff. What I would actually like though is like I would love to take Ray Racer and 1080 snowboarding and turn them into spy action games. So like you could race but you're shooting different cars and everything, or you're doing like burnout takedown and knocking them all over everything, so you can like get to a final boss to take them down. So you're mixing still the racing stuff, but kind of like Spy Hunter back in the day. Remember, like kind of on the Atari NES, where in arcade, where you had to drive, but you also had to shoot down these enemies while still racing. And I would love for Nintendo to do that. Like you are a spy and you do snowboarding, you do racing, you even do like some mixing of Mario Kart or F-Zero or something, like taking their racing games and everything. I would love to do that. And maybe one bonus level is that you're driving and a truck opens up and they're throwing the ducks from Duck Hunt. Like the dog is throwing it. And so it's kind of like almost a bonus level. And I would love to see Nintendo to do that.
Yeah. Sorry, I got distracted. All right. Well, those are our questions. I want to thank people for writing in. Remember, you can tweet at us at PowBlockPodcast, or you can email the show at nintendopowblock@gmail.com. And I'm going to throw back to you, which I think you're just going to pass it right back to Dan, like a swift NBA pass.
Like an NBA Jam pass.
Yeah. He's on fire!
So, everybody, it's time for Hey You, What's New? Dan, what's new? What's the new releases coming out this week?
This week's not as awesome as last week, but we got a few good ones. 13 Sentinels is coming out tomorrow.
Yes.
Or if you're listening this on the podcast, it's coming out on Tuesday, April 12th. Ed, have you played that one?
I have it on PS4, but I haven't started yet.
What kind of game is it?
It is a mixture of 2D action RPG with strategy built into it. So it's a tactical strategy action RPG.
I gotta get that, huh?
Yep. This is totally a Dan game.
And it got rave reviews on PS4, and it's one of the games that people have been trying to get other RPG lovers and players to try. And I think it's developed by Vanillaware.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. There's an indie game that looks interesting. It's called Nobody Saves the World. That comes out on Thursday.
It's awesome.
You've played that one?
It's on Game Pass.
Game Pass.
Oh,
Yeah.
is it? Tell us about it.
It's so you play this kind of nobody character, and it's an action RPG, and you move through the world and you acquire different party members to do things for you. Kind of like, and you acquire new powers through these other characters, and you can kind of use their powers to solve puzzles and stuff, and then you kind of move through the world and to get the next power to do the next kind of puzzle objective thing. And like the combat's okay, but the puzzles in the world is super awesome, and the characters are adorable. And I don't know if you played Guacamelee or if you've heard of it, but it's that studio. So like that,
Drinkbox?
yeah. So that humor is there, and it's really fun. It's totally a awesome Switch game. I've been waiting for it to come to Switch. I liked it on Game Pass, but like I played about 2 hours of it. I'm like, you know what? This is going to come to Switch within the next 6 months. This is,
Well, it's surprising that it's coming so early, because I think it came out like in January or something.
Yeah,
or
it was one of the first games. So it was only a 3-month exclusive, which is pretty typical for most indie games. 3 to 6 months on Xbox.
Right, I thought it would have been like 6 months.
Yeah. Well, I'm expecting Tunic to be 6 months.
Ooh, that would be interesting.
Because that's the game I'm waiting on for Switch is Tunic.
Yeah, I played Nobody Saves the World on Xbox also. Enjoyed it. And yeah, I'm getting it for Switch.
Yeah.
And then another one that comes out on Thursday is called Sock Venture. It's a 2D platformer where you play as a superhero and help a kid find all the missing socks inside the cursed washing machine.
So I will be buying that too.
And then there's this one I found to be like really interesting. It's called I don't know how to pronounce it. Maybe Taito, Taito, Milestones.
Yeah. Taito. That's
Taito.
They're arcade company back from the 80s and 90s. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll just read the description. It says, Taito's arcade legacy began in the 1970s, but came into its own in the 80s. You have the chance to play these milestone classics that paved the way for decades for Taito's arcade dominance, which followed. 10 games, each representing a specific breakthrough in development in gaming history, spanning a variety of genres. Platforming, sports, shooting, puzzles, and more. And now the 10 classics will be available for the first time as a collection on modern console. So take a deep dive into gaming history and relive the classics that helped shape it. So there's 10 games like Alpine Ski, Frontline, Wild Western. So these are like first time arcade games on a console. This one's $40 though, which I found to be kind of interesting. Usually these are like $10 or $15 packs, but they're also selling it physical as well, and that comes out on Friday.
That's probably why they're doing it at that price, because it's a physical edition. I did not know this. Dan, I was tell you this. There's a game called The Ninja Kids. Watch it. It's some kids that's the Ninja Kids. When you look at, you're going to look at the crazy art concept and design, and you're fighting Satan at the end of the game.
That's crazy.
It's a 4-player beat 'em up. I think you guys would enjoy it. Yeah, I've grown up with Taito on the NES and arcade, so if I'm probably gonna end up picking this one up, because all of these games that they're showing, I've never heard of or played.
Yeah. So you can check out all those games that are coming out this week on our weekly newsletter called What's New Nintendo on our website, www.bossrush.net. And also you get a little glimpse of the news from the past week as well in that article.
Yes. Well, of course, Dan, it's time for Femi News. Take it away.
All right. We'll kind of breeze through it. Nothing really was that interesting. We have one topic I kind of want to talk about. But the Switch 14.1 update happened. They're kind of focusing on platinum points and letting you know if those go away. So we finally got that. And then this one was kind of interesting. Nintendo Life reported this, but I don't know if I fully believe it. Did you guys hear about the Advance Wars being playable, like if it was downloaded?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they fixed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not fully on board with this one. Like, did you guys read the story or have any?
I read it a little bit. It would have been more believable if they had more than one source.
Right.
I mean, this just seems like somebody. I'm really good at drawing Advance Wars characters, so I'm just going to overlay them over the screenshots they probably showed us in a trailer somewhere.
But so many like outlets reported on it, so I was like, it might be worth talking about. But when do you guys think this is coming out? Do you think they're going to wait a long time? Because right now we're kind of in the area where it was supposed to release last Friday.
So I think it's probably a fall game. I was telling Corey that I think it replaced the time when Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 was supposed to come out. I think they moved it to fill in that gap because Way 4 is probably working more on it. And so I think they're doing more levels at finishing up the DLC or adding more content, with controls and stuff. I think they're putting in more development time for it.
So you didn't think it was ready?
I thought it was ready, but I think once they announced that what they were doing, I think Way 4 Nintendo was just like, well, while instead of just having this game done and on hold, we want you guys to go ahead and work on it and probably give it some more polish. Since you got time to do it, since we decided to hold off for releasing it because of the war in Ukraine. But I think they're working, putting in more effort and more time, getting a little bit more polish, getting this game ready. So we'll probably see new gameplay elements. We'll probably see more boards. I think they're probably going to cut something for a Nintendo Digital Direct for the summer whenever they decide to do it, and I think it'll be out in the fall.
See, I think you're right that this will appear at whatever their next Nintendo Direct is, probably around the time when E3 would have happened. But I think this is a July game. I don't think this game is big enough to replace Zelda on there.
No, that's what I was going to... Pokemon replace Zelda.
Yeah, Pokemon. And that rumored Fire Emblem game would be the game to replace Zelda, right? I mean, that's...
Absolutely. Not Advance Wars.
Advance Wars will be a July game where Octopath and Captain Toad landed, right? That's where it's going to land, is July.
But I think it's just, I just see it more as a date thing, not just be like, oh, this is going to replace the Hyper or anything. I think it's just more of a date thing. So that's why I said the fall.
I think it's gonna be a July or August game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's anything lined up for August right now, and August has always kind of historically been a slow month for Nintendo for some reason. Yeah. What about you, Jack?
Yeah, I'm thinking as soon as possible. I think, they delayed it because of the current situation, that it's ready to go and ready to ship. I think Way Forward's just moved away from it by this point. So hopefully it comes out. I mean, is anything even scheduled for June? What was that, Mario Strikers?
Yeah,
Mario Strikers and the Fire Emblem Warriors game.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, so I guess then, July would probably be the next time slot that it would be, and it's not like it would take anything away from Splatoon whenever that releases in the summer or anything like that.
About Splatoon too.
No, Nintendo, they'll put out some wacky kind of game and it'd be like, it's out in the next month. It'd be like, wait, what?
Yeah.
All right, so the next thing is, over the weekend, Square Enix had a 20th anniversary trailer, and there was a teaser for Kingdom Hearts 4. Loads of speculation are going around already, and one thing that is interesting is a lot of people are wondering if Star Wars is going to be part of the Kingdom Hearts universe now that Disney owns it. I've never played a Kingdom Hearts game. I have nothing to do with Disney. I know, Corey, you're a big fan of Disney, so let's start it off with you.
I think Star Wars makes perfect sense for Kingdom Hearts. I know that's kind of like, people might be like, oh my gosh, what do you mean? I'm like, so being in a quote unquote realistic world, where, live action world has not stopped Kingdom Hearts. They've been to Pirates of the Caribbean twice already, right? And they've done that whole thing. Obviously, they changed the look of Sora. He looks like he belongs in a Final Fantasy game at this point, which I like. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, what are you doing to Sora? His shoes aren't a size 37," and I'm like, I don't care. I like it better. But I feel like Star Wars, you could do so many cool things with keyblades and lightsabers, and even if you went the route of like the Clone Wars or Rebels or something in that art style, if you want to keep it quote unquote cartoony, you could definitely do something like that. I think Star Wars is the next step for Kingdom Hearts in terms of what worlds you can pick. We saw some Pixar stuff, right? In Kingdom Hearts 3, we saw Toy Story, we saw Monsters Inc. And so I think Marvel might be pushing it a little too far, but I still think Star Wars is going to be something really cool. So I think Star Wars is the next step for Kingdom Hearts personally, and I'm all for it.
Yeah. What about you, Jack? You're a Kingdom Hearts guy, aren't you?
No, not at all. I played the beginning of the first one like a couple of months ago, and it's not for me. It's also a 20-year-old game, but
don't worry. So is Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah. It just didn't tickle me the right way, I guess. But that being said, the trailer for 4 looks incredible. I think the art style is great. It's incredible, just what they were able to do with that, showing, the direction that they're going in. But maybe with bringing in Star Wars or Marvel or really expanding upon Pixar, maybe I'll change my tone when that eventually comes out as well.
Ed?
So yes, I have beaten Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. I do enjoy the series. I still think it's the most non-cynical series that Square Enix have done. The way they release the games and the way that it's kind of handled. So I wasn't really thinking about Star Wars being on part of it. If Disney wants to do it, that's fine. There's no big deal to me about that. I kind of was thinking about this game coming out in the future, and everybody was just like, it's going to be on Series X and PlayStation 5. But now I'm thinking, when I went out for a walk, and I was thinking, if they decide to bring out Kingdom Hearts 4 for a Nintendo platform, Nintendo has to I think it's going to be their first time doing a 450 some kind of system, because they're going to have some processing power that can handle Unreal 5 or the Luminous engine, because I don't think Square is going to downgrade it. And I know people don't want cloud versions of it, but if Nintendo is looking forward to the next generation for their system, they're going to need something that's going to be really powerful to handle Unreal 5 and Luminous and some of the other games. I think indie developers will be fine, but if Kingdom Hearts 4 is going to be on Switch, which I don't think it will happen, but that game won't probably be out for the next, I would say, maybe 5 to 7 some years from now. If Nintendo's going to get ready for their next console, they're going to have a powerful graphics card or chip or whatever to be able to run this game. Because
this game's not coming to Switch.
Yeah, no way.
Which I understand, but I'm just like with Square Enix, if they decide to do it, I think this would get Nintendo to be like, yeah, we gotta get our stuff up there, so we could be able to continue the third-party support. And I think
even handle the PlayStation port.
Yeah.
Well, that was the Square Enix decision. But I think if they did decide to do it, I think this would get Nintendo to really upgrade their graphics cards. And sadly to say, I was while I was walking and thinking about it, I'm just like, man, this may literally put Nintendo back into the competition for some gamers between Xbox and PlayStation. I mean, people will still laugh at it or whatever, but if Nintendo's next console can handle a physical and digital version of Kingdom Hearts 4, I think a lot of people will pick it up there playing it. I think a lot of people will be surprised. If it plays well, if it runs at, I don't care, 30 frames per second at 2K, whatever, 1080. If it runs well and plays well, I think a lot of people will play Kingdom Hearts 4 on Switch, on the next console.
Cool. All right, we'll just move quickly into the last one. This one's really just for Ed because it's his birthday. The Capcom Fighting Collection pre-order trailer just dropped today. Ed, talk to us all about it.
Yes, so there's this fighting game that they kind of announced a while back. It's available on the eShop for pre-orders. It carries 10 fighting games or 10 games on it. Games from the Darkstalker series, Vampire Hunter, 2 games that kind of didn't come out, like Cyberbots that never came out here, so people get to try that. In Gym Fighter, like it was kind of like their puzzle fighting game, but you knock and hit your opponent and gems come out that you collect so you can do special moves. And then Puzzle Fighter 2, which is very popular among the puzzle community. They really like that. That game never came to a Nintendo console that I don't think of. It's only been on PlayStation. But I'm excited to play it. So yeah, you can pre-order it on your Nintendo Switch. They haven't said anything about physical yet. So right now it's just only on the eShop.
Cool. All right, that's it for news.
All right. Well, everybody, we're going to get into Doc Mode. And this is going to be a good conversation. I can't wait to have it with you guys. As Nintendo IPs continue to get stronger, new gamers are experiencing the games in different franchises. More importantly, they're discovering new characters in their respective universe. For Nintendo themselves, it still boils down to Mario himself being the most recognizable and influential character in video games. I want to ask everyone, is Mario still popular when it comes to pop culture? Do you think characters from Fortnite or other modern titles have taken his place? Lastly, has the latest releases hurt or helped the Mario brand? Are you ready to lead Black Agents? Let's go! So, I know last week we talked about Kirby, gave our impressions, and talked about platformers that Nintendo makes. But I kind of want to focus a little bit on Mario because we talk about his games, and we look at the sales of Mario Kart Deluxe on Switch and with the NSO DLC and everything. And I kind of just want to ask you guys, do you guys feel like Mario is still relevant in pop culture and gaming in different communities, even here at Boss Rush? Dan, I'm gonna start with you.
Yeah, I think he is the most iconic character in gaming. Realistically, like maybe Minecraft Steve might be something amongst the younger crowd, but I think through all generations and through all the most casual people that there are when it comes to video games, literally everybody in the world knows who Mario is, right? But it would be more Mario for Nintendo. Like everybody knows the World 1-1 music. Everybody knows the Goomba that comes at you first. I don't think current Mario is very much in like the pop culture setting right now. But yeah, like he's there. There's no mascot for any other platform that I think even compares to Mario. That's what I think.
All right. What about you, Jack?
I agree. And I have a 5-year-old, so he's in the game. So, even just going into Target and picking up clothes, there's a ton of clothing options, bedding, lamps, everything like that. So it's all out there and kids are being exposed to it. So it's still going to continue being recognizable. Dan mentioned about Minecraft, but I think that's more not so much on Minecraft Steve, but more on just like their overall design. And there are other creatures not necessarily focused on the main character. You could even say that with like Fortnite. I don't really know anything about Fortnite other than that it exists and that it's, very popular. But I don't think that there's, and correct me if I'm wrong, but if there is even a main character with
Jonesy.
Fortnite. Okay, I would have lost on a trivia show with that,
I agree. Like, he's not very. I mean, obviously, Fortnite is a multiplayer character that focuses on, like, there's obviously thousands of skins in this thing, and you can play as Iron Man fighting Batman, fighting, the Predator and the Rock, and it's just stupid. It's basically like
it's nonsense.
Yeah, but yeah, Jonesy is like the blonde-haired kind of generic guy that is he's kind of used in all their promotional materials and stuff.
Yeah, I think their logo is more recognizable than their character, so that just separates Mario even further away. I think other games are really trying. Obviously, Sonic that we saw, Sonic's been relevant for almost as much as Mario. But then even with Master Chief, I haven't seen the new show. I've been hearing a lot of mixed reactions, but I think that different games and series are really trying to explore different means with either TV shows like like I said with Halo and also Castlevania, and we know that the Mario movie's coming out at the end of this year. That's their way of trying to follow in their footsteps, and hopefully they don't screw up like they did in the early 90s with that interesting movie. Yeah.
All right. What about you, Corey?
I mean, I like Jack, I have kids, but they're not old enough to game. Obviously, my son has just turned 1, and my daughter is kind of showing minor interest in games, but she knows who Mario is. She just knows, and I don't know if that's because like I just have a bunch of Mario crap around, or my nephews are into video games, so she kind of, when she plays with them, she just kind of gets that knowledge through osmosis or something. But like, she knows who Mario is. My nephews have known who Mario is forever, right? Like they've just known, and maybe like recognizable and if they like the character or not are two different things, right? Like, they're super into Pokemon. My one nephew's really into Fortnite, and my other nephew's actually really into Yoshi's Crafted World, and they love Mario Kart, and it's things like that are going to keep Mario relevant. And I think Mario's more relevant now than he has been in the since before the Switch was out, right? Because like Nintendo was kind of going through a slump. The marketing wasn't really focused around Mario at all, right? I would say the last time Mario was really the focus of marketing a console straight up was the GameCube, with that Mario 128 demo and Sunshine and the 9,000 Mario Party games that came out on that console, right? Like, I mean, the Wii's focus was Wii Sports and getting the grandma to play bowling with their grandkids, right? And the Wii U was the Wii U, and and even though it has the best Mario game, in my opinion, on the console in Super Mario 3D World, right? Like, I feel like Mario now, with the success of the Switch, 3 really great games of, platformers on the Switch right now. Granted, 2 of them were Wii U games, but, and the theme parks and the movie coming up and Amiibo, right? The popularity of Amiibo. And I just think Mario is more popular than he has been in probably 20 years. And I think as Nintendo continues to innovate and reinvent themselves and making new fun experiences, Mario is always going to be relevant. It's like Mickey Mouse, right? Nobody really cares about Mickey Mouse, right? But he's so iconic to Disney that even when you think of the theme parks or the next movie coming out, or everybody makes fun of Star Wars and how Darth Vader's going to have Mickey ears in the next movie or whatever, right? Like, it's like, yeah, Mickey's everywhere, but like he's recognizable. It doesn't mean he's relevant, but like he's super recognizable, and I think that's how Mario is going to be, you know, when Nintendo turns 100 years old, right? So, I mean, Mickey Mouse is going to turn 100 years old in 6 years, right? How does a character stay relevant for over a century? You know, you keep innovating, you keep reinventing yourself, you keep making the brand matter, and I think that's Mario is Nintendo's Mickey Mouse and always will be, regardless of if he has a game coming out or not, you know?
Yeah, I think he's like still, you know, popular and you know, influential and important to pop culture. You know, definitely when people are going to cons and they're cosplaying with them. Even during Halloween, you know, you see kids dressed up as Mario or characters from that universe. Even some guys dressing up as Princess Peach with big muscles and stuff. You know, there have been, I would say, adult versions of Mario that.
Yeah, remember when Bowsette happened? That was a thing.
Oh God.
Yeah, but you still have people doing covers and interpretations of Mario for music. You still see snack brands with Mario on them, you know, whether it's cookies or fruit snacks or sodas or drinks and stuff. Like, you still see that and everything. So I really think that he is still popular amongst the communities and gamers and just even parents who still don't know a lot about video games but somehow know who Mario is. Still that moment of seeing Mario announcing the Olympics, like that was a big moment.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, that was very big. And yeah, they didn't really have any music when it actually happened, but to see Japan make a Mario like their mascot for the Olympics, that was a huge moment for everybody to be like, wow, who knew that video games would get this far? And using Mario, one of the most recognizable characters in video game history, to lead the charge for that. And, you know, so that kind of just shows you how he is still popular. And I really don't think there's not many... I don't think like games like Fortnite or other modern titles were taking his place or anything, because as much as some of these companies would like to be on that level, same level as Mario to be recognizable, there's something magical about Mario himself that some of these other games just don't have. When it comes to characters and having the popularity that he has and stuff.
Yeah, I think a lot of it also branches off into how many different spin-offs involve Mario and the world. I mean, the spin-offs have spin-offs. You know, there's Mario Kart, there's all of the different sports titles, Mario Party, you know, and so on and so forth. Captain Toad and Luigi's Mansion, and you know, you could just keep on going on, and it all ties back to Mario.
Yeah. I wonder why like Mario succeeded so much, and like, you know, Sonic still lingers, but I don't know, he fades in and out. And then Crash Bandicoot, like, I mean, I like the Crash racing games better, and even some of their the original Crash games better than some Mario games to a degree. But like, why didn't he succeed the way Mario did?
The games aren't as good.
I think because of Crash getting passed around so much. You know, he had different developers and publishers making his games. Because like after, I think Crash 3 from Sony, I think Sony sold them.
The kart racing game. The first kart racer was made by Naughty Dog, and then Sony sold them.
Naughty Dog had the first 3 as well, right?
Yeah. And then like obviously it was passed around it was Activision, right? Activision bought them.
Yep.
And nothing good came out of Activision for him.
No. Well, some would argue nothing's good's come out of Activision.
Yeah, and that was weird for us. And that was very weird for Sony to sell them, because I didn't even know.
Not at the time, though. Sony didn't have any IP, right? All their success came from Final Fantasy. Who published Final Fantasy? Square.
Right.
Castlevania. Who published Castlevania? Konami. Resident Evil. Capcom. Metal Gear Solid. Konami. Right? Like all of their popular IP were third-party IP. You know?
It was just so weird that they would sell like Spyro and Crash. And
Spyro
stuff.
would have been
Like,
a good one too.
Right, because I never knew a first party like Sony to sell their IPs to third party. It was like, to a lot of people, it was not a business practice at all to recognize, you know. And I guess because of Mario being consistently having great games, and even the off-brand, like not off-brand, off-beat games and everything, they've been so successful. I think that's just been keeping people like interested in the game, and most of the main series games they change, so people would get into, you know. So
yeah, I mean that's fair. I don't know. Mario's relevant because I think Mario's still relevant because Nintendo operates a different way than most companies do, right? A lot of companies want to make, like, obviously Nintendo wants to make money, but a lot of these companies are making games to make money, not to preserve their kind of, you know, the Nintendo official seal of quality exists for a reason, right? And nobody else really has that. Now, granted, that seal has fluctuated the term quality and over the years, but we always say that Nintendo cares the most about Mario and cares the most about Zelda, right? And those are the franchises they will always, always, always delay to make better, put more money into to make better, and, you know, they will sell 25 million units because of the quality, not because of Nintendo's marketing push, not because, you know, Mario's some super awesome character, because I mean he's he's not really an appealing looking character, right? I mean he's a kind of creepy
middle-aged man.
Yeah, he's a so, you know.
Well, we're going to get to the last part of it. What did you guys think of his recent releases, like the games on Switch? Do you think they have hurt or helped the Mario brand?
Oh, I think they're probably the best Mario titles in a while, right? I mean, granted, I really love Super Mario 3D World, and that was a Wii U game, but like, so many people are playing it now, and it makes me so happy that people are experiencing the best Mario game. And Odyssey, like, I know I wasn't as high on it as a lot of other people were, but that's still like a super high quality game, right? I mean, that game is one of the best games ever reviewed ever on Metacritic, right? I think only Zelda and I think Elden Ring finally beat it out as like the best games ever reviewed. So, I mean, plus the popularity of the Switch, just kind of, you know.
What about you, Jack?
Yeah, I agree with what Corey is saying. I think that the Mario games that have come out this generation are top notch. I love Mario Odyssey. Just playing through that for the first time, it was like having ADD. It was just perfect. It was just like, oh, okay, there's something else to do. Oh, another moon. You know, you were always finding something. It just, you know, made you just feel happy. Even, I mean, geez, look at the longevity with Mario Kart 8, you know, with the new tracks coming out. Yeah, and it's the best Mario Kart. Maybe Double Dash is right up there with it, just because it did something a lot different with the mechanic. But it's just a fantastic kart racer. So, no, I think that it's, it is definitely the best generation for Mario games, in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah, without a doubt, it's like the best. I mean, my personal favorite Mario game is Mario Odyssey, but the thing is they reinvent it every single time, right? And I think the only one where it really missed was arguably Super Mario Sunshine, where still a lot of people really, really liked that game. So, yeah, I mean, Mario keeps it fresh, right? Like Jack said, there's all the spin-offs. We got Mario Rabbids, which is like one of my favorite games ever, right? And even like the Captain Toad game was one of the most, like, Mario 3D World is one of the best games ever, and having Captain Toad in there is like makes it even more fun. Like that's one of the most fun like little mini games that there is. So it's like they're always just doing something creative, and like it seems like they're always focusing on gameplay. Like gameplay is always going to be their number one thing. They're going to take it over graphics. They're going to take it over everything flashy, and they're going to focus on controls, making the game fun and making the game engaging. And they do it in such a different way every single time. I mean, Odyssey was super, it was just like so immersive in all the worlds. Like there was so much to do. You could explore every piece of it, and having the copy abilities in every single world made it just that much more fun as well. So yeah, I mean, for gamers, absolutely. Like Mario's current games are keeping him relevant. And pop culture wise, like people like to mock Mario or pretend to be him online and stuff. Like you still see people on like TikTok like pretending to be Mario, and it's just so silly.
Yeah. I agree. I think his games have really helped them. And actually, the games have really expanded for people to enjoy Mario's in different ways. We got the Paper Mario series. We got, of course, the racing. We got the board games. But then we got Super Mario Maker. Like, a chance to actually make Mario levels and have other people play them. And even with Super Mario Maker 2, adding more stuff to that, you got a lot of people being able to show their creativity with level design. And that was so... I think that's so cool that people are still making levels and trying to share them for people to play. And of course, Mario Rabbids is a great game. Like putting him in a tactical strategy game, who would have thought with the rabbits, and it worked.
And guns.
Yeah, and guns and stuff. And then we got like I said, Paper Mario, but Thousand Year Door, Color Splash, Origami King. Like we got all of those different kind of games with the Paper Mario series, and even though some of them were successful or some of them weren't too successful, it was good to see that Mario is this game. The Paper Mario games are more for its writing and its comedy, and it does have challenge. Trust me, the games have challenge. But when you're reading and when you're like when you're reading along with the game and seeing the stuff that happens and you're laughing along, it really showcases that Mario and the writing for him for his games could be very hilarious, could be very good in comedy. And some people just don't point that out and take notice of it and everything. And then being able to see Mario in Smash, and a lot of people don't use Mario in Smash, and it's kind of like the Super Mario Brothers 2 thing where barely anyone used Mario in that game. They were using all the other characters. He's still a recognizable force in that game, and people could play him right. And just seeing him and Iwata together for the Amiibo, it was just really cool. And I think Mario with his games are still important. We might not talk
Meteor Smash and Smash Brothers with Mario. He's an absolute force.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think he is definitely. I think his games definitely has helped this brand still be recognizable. He's still doing sales, and I think we all look forward to what is going to be the next Mario game, what ideas they're going to bring to the table, and it's good when Nintendo really doesn't rely on him. They release his game, do some marketing, and then start focusing on anything else, because then we get to enjoy all the other games that come out. And then when Mario's time to bring Mario back, we all are focused on Mario, and that's what we could literally talk about. So I think his games definitely help. Anything else, you guys, before we get to the end of the show?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Okay. Well, everybody, it's time for Playing with Power. Corey, what have you been playing with Power?
Speaking of Mario games, guys, so last week we talked about Kirby and what makes Nintendo platformers special with Grayson, and it really made me want to go back and play Super Mario 3D World. I had already completed the game, but I'm going back and 100%ing all the levels, getting all the green stars, getting all the stamps, and I have now 100%ed the first 5 worlds, moving on to World 6. Let me tell you, if you want to get all those things, it is a challenging game. I mean, that after you beat Cat Bowser, spoilers, guys, for anybody who hasn't beaten it. Sorry, you've had, 5-6 years now at this point. But the levels that pop up after that, those are some of the most challenging Mario levels I've ever played.
Yeah.
And
Champions Road is the toughest level.
Yeah, it's so hard. And so I've just been replaying it and just having a blast. You know, it's like we kind of said last week and kind of how we said tonight, but like Nintendo isn't always great at telling the most elaborate stories or, you know, graphically intensive games, but gameplay first has always mattered to Nintendo, and this game is a prime example of why video games are fun and why gameplay matters and why, you know, Mario is still relevant to this day. So I've been playing a ton of that. I've been playing a little bit more Xenoblade Chronicles, and I've also been playing Tetris Effect. I don't really have anything else to say about those games that I haven't already said.
All right. Dan, what have you been playing with Power?
I've been playing a lot, actually. Chrono Cross came out on Thursday last week, so I've been cruising through that game. I'm a little disappointed though. It's got some serious frame rate issues.
Yeah.
There's a couple of parts where, like, I mean, I'm pretty immune to frame rate, you know, like I don't care that much if like something lags, but there's some really rough scenes in Chrono Cross. But I mean, overall, like the game is just amazing. So I'm still playing it. I'm gonna try to recruit every player and 100% it and just do the whole thing. But it's like I'm so happy that they finally released it on another platform. I picked up the show as well last week. That came out on Tuesday.
I did too.
Nice.
I haven't started it yet.
Yeah, honestly, like I'm very, very surprised with it. I thought because it was going to be on Switch, it would have been more bare bones, like the way they do FIFA. So like if you go into FIFA, you don't have all the modes that you would have on another system. The Switch version has just the same exact modes, everything that you would get on a PlayStation or Xbox version, which is really, really just awesome. So I'm building my Diamond Dynasty team. I played a couple of games online, and I had absolutely no issues with online play. So like, I'm very happy that like the game came out as a full game. It came out really well. It's doing well online. And like, this makes me happy and hope that we may get more actual sports games for Switch, because this is a really good game. So if anybody's curious about the show, then go ahead, pick that one up because it is great. Mario Golf, I'm trying to get the Yoshi skins, and Elden Ring. I'm still playing Elden Ring. I'm dying a lot.
Day 34, still dying.
It's just like, I don't know. It's not clicking with me. I think eventually I'm just gonna have to admit it's not a game for me. But I don't know. Maybe one day it'll just all fall into place. So we'll see. Yeah, that's it for me.
All right, Jack, what have you been playing with Power?
I regularly play Tetris 99, so that's something I like to play a couple matches a day. Then I picked up what was it? Gone Home, the walking sim.
Yes.
Yeah, I picked that up a few days ago. Loved it. Played a couple of walking sims in the past, and had a hankering for another one. And this is one I never played before, so it was really good to get in and just complete it in one sitting. Very fun.
Are you going to listen to our talk to walk about it?
Oh, you guys have one?
Yeah.
Okay. I was unaware because the previous ones I've waited until I played the games before I listened to it. So yeah, I'll be downloading that to give a listen to. So definitely. So played a little bit of Uncharted Lost Legacy. And yeah, it was fun to replay that. And also, I have never played Chrono Trigger, so I just started that a little bit ago and getting into it. I briefly had a Super Nintendo growing up, and then it was quickly kind of sold away from my parents. So missed out on a bunch of good opportunities, and I'm playing this on a different emulator. So being able to get some quality of life in there, so enjoying it so far.
He's playing it on a different platform, everybody.
Yes.
One that works.
Right. For me, I am playing Bloodstain, the one from Itagaki. Yeah, on his, and wait for it. Playing it. I really enjoyed that game. I think I'm halfway done. I think I got a few more areas to visit and bosses to beat. The game has glitch at times, and it was able for me to beat some bosses and everything. Right now, I'm just like super powerful, so I still use potions and everything. But I am enjoying this game. There is this castle that had these two dragons heads on the side that they walked around, and while I was fighting it dropped me down, but it dropped me behind one of the dragons heads, so I was able to go behind the head, not lose no energy, no life, and just smack him until he died. And so and the game did it itself. The game glitched, and I'm like, well, I didn't do nothing wrong. I was fighting you fair and square. So, but just like you, Dan, I picked up MLB The Show on Switch. I haven't started it yet, but I literally walked into Best Buy, went to the counter for pickup and got it, and just like, okay, I can leave. And I don't know how well that game's going to do with sales or anything, but I really do hope that if they do like combined number, I hope that Switch gets some good numbers for sales with it, along with the PlayStation version, because not a lot of people are talking about it just yet. But I am happy that I picked this game up for Switch, because like you did, I would love more sports games to come to the platform.
Yeah, I'd love to see some more support for that, because it's a good game.
Yeah. So, but everybody, that has been Nintendo Power Block. I want to thank you, Corey. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Jack, for joining me. Corey, where can we find you?
You can find me at I am Corey and HD on Twitter and Instagram. You can also find me hosting the Boss Rush podcast on your podcast services every Friday. And you can also find me on Standard Definition, our retro and nostalgia podcast. We just wrapped up recordings of the entire Indiana Jones franchise, so you'll be able to find those shortly.
Nice. Dan, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at DCDM99. And you can find all of our articles on www.bossrush.net.
Yes. Jack, where can we find you?
You can find me at Twitter at GeekBro27. You could also see my works on bossrush.net. I'm one of the writers with the team, and come check us out. Different banner pieces and news stories and all of that.
Yeah. You guys can find me on Twitter and at Instagram at that retro code. You can check out more of Nintendo Power Block on YouTube. Check it every Monday that we go live. And also, everybody, if you are a Patreon subscriber, you can check out a week early for Expansion Pass. And with that, everybody, have a great week, have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time on Nintendo Power Block. Bye, everybody. Woohoo!
Bye.
Goodbye.
See ya.